Namaste everyone. Namaskar.
Pratesmarami hridhi samspurat atmatattvam Satchit sukham paramahamsat gatim turiyam yat swapna jagaram sushuptim avaiti nityam tat brahma nishkalam aham nacha bhuta sangha. In the early morning, I contemplate on Atman, the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, which pulsates clearly in the heart as I. It is the goal of great beings. It is the fourth state beyond waking, dream, and deep sleep. I am that Brahman which is indivisible and not the conglomerate of 5 elements.
This can be taken as a early morning prayer when you wake up. We all make choices living our life in this body. If you see, with rare exception, almost everyone is busy in earthly life only. Very, very rare, as Neelaj Kantanji was reading this shloka, contemplate on a truth which is beyond this world, beyond this body, beyond this mind. Deeply contemplating on that truth happens rarely in a human being. Yes, almost everyone at some stage in their life they think about after death, or what is this all? But it's more as a fleeting thought rather than deeply contemplating and make that as goal of their life to know it. And then there are few who actually start contemplating on the truth. But then they also get swayed in the waves of samsara and they are unable to complete their journey to the goal, to the truth. So very few actually reaches the shore, know the truth. Very few. And the reason is so many distractions within mind, not external distractions. External distractions have no value. Only our mind gives them value and importance. Living in the Word but not part of the Word is the answer to the quest. As long as you are interested in things around you, happenings around you, obviously your mind will be thinking about it. We get two types of thoughts. One are just random, irrelevant, they have no meaning. They don't bother us that much. But if some thought comes with emotions, whether stories from the past or about future, it drains our energy, it takes our attention. Then who can think about Brahman? Who can contemplate about Brahman? This is the same mind which you have to put to the quest. That which is pure, untainted, uninvolved, Satchitanand. You don't have to sort that out. That is already pure, blissful. Though we are that, but we act as if we are this mind-body complex. When this mind, which is involved externally into all this thing happening around us, all these thoughts coming to the mind, when one day it decides to look within and try to look into this truth within our heart, then the journey starts. And the journey ends by knowing the truth fully, completely. So no doubt is left, no ego is left. No doership is left. Doer is dead. A time comes in every seeker's life after deep contemplation, bodily actions don't bother them. Situations don't bother them. The identity with the body and mind complex is completely lost. Loss of this identity is the gain of truth, nothing else. I was talking to a person yesterday who has gone through personal issues and going through separation. And he said to me, the biggest suffering is when I remember all what I did in past and the beautiful time I spent with my partner, and now I'm separating. All the time my mind takes me to the past. So we talked about being more mindful of this moment. But he said, my identity will be lost if I don't brood on the past. People are so attached to their identity. This is the problem. We live in that identity and we die with that identity. We have so many stories to tell people. Stories full of lies. Though it might be true to you, but it is associated with the egoistic tendencies to glamorize, to put yourself on high pedestal, that I did this sacrifice for this person. You ask the other person, he will say the other story, exactly opposite. It is only half truth. Even if it is a truth, it is just a story of no significance. Our mind gives importance to our life. I'm not saying that life is not important, but not the way our mind thinks. Our mind makes us believe that this body's life is important, and then other body's life is important. It can even kill other bodies if a situation arises to preserve this body. This is what ego is, nothing else. Look everything from that Brahman awareness, which is our true self, which stays in all states of mind in that equanimity, and which stays even when the body is dead. And it was there before we entered into the body and thought we are the body. That changeless state, that changeless state is always blissful. What makes that blissful true self as the one who is suffering? Only mind, mixing mind with it. If the mind is kept separate, when these thoughts are not owned by us, when we start observing as what we actually are, mind loses its power. All these thoughts have power to torment us because we are interested in it. When we have no interest, these thoughts becomes a distant noise. We don't even understand what these thoughts wants to convey. This is when we are in the deep bliss. It could be with eyes open or eyes closed. Samadhi is the end result of all our seeking. And in Samadhi, there is nothing else but truth. We are not the body, we are not the mind. We are never involved in anything. We are the witness in this body and around and everything. Everything is happening because we are there, not as a person, as pure awareness, only awareness. The moment this awareness goes away, nothing is left, nothing is happening. This world, what we see, people around us, they all come from our own mind, whether you like it or not. So, no one to blame if your mind is is suffering. And this movie, what our mind is showing, we have earned it by our karmas, prarabdha karma. We created it, good or bad. But the ego wants to blame others, situation, people around us. And you can say that I don't want this type of life now. Easiest and quickest way is to step out of this role immediately. You know, it is an immediate resignation. You can say from immediate effect, I stop working like ABC. And that's all. If you have courage to do that, you can do it straight away. And if you resign from this post of a person, then nothing to complain, nothing to do, nothing to seek. Some people might say that I have resigned, but the life of the body is still continuing. But why you worry if you are not the body? It will die its own death one day. Not much time is left. You stay as awareness. You enjoy your bliss. At least stop interacting with mind. Resignation from this identity means to give up I thought. As Bhagavan says, I dropped, immediately replaced by I, by Brahman. It is not replaced, it is always there. It is like a veil of I thought which is covering it. So the practice is to always question this I thought, which is like ownership of mind-body complex. Whatever situation we live in, whatever is happening, whatever thought comes, whatever work we are doing or not doing, always question this I thought with whom mind is interacting. Leave mind, come to the I thought. Ahankar, this ego mode, aham bhav, this feeling which is the problem, which is ownership of the body mind. Come back to it. Pay attention to that only. When you scrutinize this I thought, this aham bhav, it starts disintegrating. Path of Gyan Marga, path of knowledge, is a path of intense awareness. Where you stay aware of all the actions of the body and the thoughts which leads to those actions. When actions are happening spontaneously, without any command of thoughts, then you are free of thoughts. You are just observing without any ownership of body. This is real freedom. For others, you are doing, you are working, you are interacting. Because the person working from ego will always see others also working from ego. So it is your liberation, not the people around you. You are liberated from those people and from the one who is living in the body. It is your freedom. Everyone has to gain their own freedom. And you cannot gain this freedom by attachments, by desires, by a long list of doership. And the easiest way is to get rid of this I thought, which leads to all these issues. Who am I? On questioning it again and again and again, it takes us to the deep silence in our heart. It takes us to the source. That source is Sat Chit Anand, existence, consciousness, bliss. Once you are at home, that's all. It is like you have been given a post in an organization and you have done that for 50 years. Now you have been asked to step down. You have resigned, but you still speak about those matters because of habit. So you need reminders all the time. You are no more working in that role. So keep your mouth shut. Chumma yeru. Keep quiet. Satsangs are these reminders that I am pure awareness. I am uninvolved. I am unborn. If I am unborn, no fear of death. If I am uninvolved, then whatever is happening, not happening to me. This takes you to the purest of pure, which you are always. Once you abide in the source, you understand functioning of the mind and functioning of everything around you. You enter the raw, pure intelligence. Though it is the source, but it is uninvolved all the time. Abide in pure silence. Someone has raised hand. Do you want to say something? Anta?
Yes, my question is,
Hello, what's your name?
yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Anita V. Hello, Anita. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your name, Anita?
Anita, yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so my question is, does the narrator, meaning that voice in our head that's always like narrating, like talking to us, does that voice go away?
Why do you want it to go away?
Because I just like this silence. When it's silence, it's peaceful. And I don't know. Or shall we just ignore it, even if it talks, just ignore it silently?
You are that silence. And the voice in your head is what you are interested for that all. Are you saying something?
Sorry, no, it's my cat. It's not little noisy.
Your
Yes.
cat is also asking questions?
He's asking, yes.
Everything is you. The voice in the head is also you. The silence is also you. And here comes the choice what you are interested in. But you have to pick up one. You can't pick up both. This is the problem, that if you want to know the absolute truth, you have to leave what you think you are and from where you are acting. Because all this voice is your own creation. You have created all this voice. Now, what do you want to do with this? You have created, now you don't want it. Okay, if you don't want it, you have to do two things. One is you have to be interested in the pure silence, which is always there, perpetual, on which all these thoughts are coming. You stay interested in these pure silence and ignore all thoughts and don't pay any attention. And the second thing, what you need to do is don't create more thoughts. Are you ready to do the second thing, which is much more difficult? And more thoughts means desires, and more desires, attachments, and more attachments. So look within. Is my life a clean sheet without any desires? And I am uninvolved, unattached? Look within. If the answer is yes, you will be in deep silence all the time. And if you think you are progressing slowly, then you will notice all the change happening within you. I can guarantee that you can be in perfect silence and no noise in your head if you give me promise that from now you will be desireless. everything comes with some condition. If you want to keep one step in silence and other collecting all the garbage from the world with desires and attachments, then how can you be free from mind? Mind is the instrument to acquire all these things. If you want perfect silence and freedom, then don't give it any work. If you have a machine which produces some product and you want that product, it will make its noise. But if you don't want that product, then the machine is switched off. It will make no noise. Mind is the machine to acquire things. And yes, everything will disappear if you are not using this machine. If you are not giving work to the mind, it becomes a vestigial organ, defunctioned. Before we fix this noise in the head, we have to fix ourselves first. Recede from the doership. Move from person to pure presence. It is all our internal work, from where we see things, from where we act. The day you start noticing that this Anita and your cat and inanimate objects in the room is all one, then you are free from your own ego body. And then you are free from the mind. And then you enter into a new dimension where you are awareness, which speaks from everything equally, though from inanimate silently, and uses a body to communicate, but it is all pervading in everything. Morning, when we wake up and a thought comes to do this and then do this and do, ask to whom they are coming. Ask this question, am I slave of these thoughts? It is like, let's say your partner gets up and you also get up and you keep saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. You know, your partner will leave you soon. But we are so shameful, we stay with this mind all the time, which is a remorseless tormentor. Because we know we have given all this to our mind. We want this, we want that. And when it becomes too much, then we complain. Then we look for silence, bliss. First thing first, we should take responsibility that I have created my mind like this. And now I have decided I don't want it. But don't be back and forth. That next moment again, no, but I need to do this, I need this, I can't live without this. Solution is in our hand and it's very easy. But it's all or none. Take your time to contemplate on truth. And if you have enough of the worldly life, you have seen that there is no meaning to gaining or losing anything. Things just happens. This surrender is your choice. I can't force you into it. If you decide, you can do it. And the moment you surrender, you enter into this pure silence. If surrender is incomplete, then the voices in the head will be there. But if the surrender becomes complete by your constant practice, then you know that you are this pure silence. And I have to say this here, that the biggest measure of your progress is less and less thoughts, less intrusive thoughts, less grip of these thoughts on you. No thoughts with heavy emotions. And even if a thought makes you react, that reaction lasts a few seconds and you bounce back. No situation binds you. You become free from all the stories in the mind. And this is the proper living. You live in moment to moment, always in the present moment. You have deliberately given up your default mode, ego mode, in which the story is going on about this body, always thinking about this body. It's not that these thoughts are replaced by thoughts for your cat or for other people. Let that absolute think about everything. He has planned everything. Why you want to give this small mind extra work? Everything is planned in the best way possible. But we need the eye of wisdom to see this truth. When we give up our egoistic, petty desires, fulfilling only this body, then we see truth. Truth is not personal. It is not for me or for you it is for everything. Be in the loving silence of that absolute in your heart. That is none other than you. And what we think we are is all illusory. It's always changing, taking forms, names, shapes. Life which is standing at a personal level is on a very slippery mode, changing all the time. From this restless mind, we can come to the stillness of pure self. Just by observing. And I'll tell you, a sincere seeker who is practicing day in and day out starts understanding that better not to touch this mind, not to ask anything from it. Whatever comes, let it come. Whatever goes, let it go. No personal say in anything, as if you don't exist, as if you are a dead body moving around. Don't count yourself in anything. Then see how beautifully this whole pure silence will take you over. So much so that when you move, wherever you go, you take that beautiful silence with you. Somehow this pure energy makes you everything. Then everything is you. It is hard to make a distinction between you and others. They are all your forms. And they are as beautiful as you. No comparison. Like in your dream, you see people, and we see that they are different from us. We don't say in a dream that they are all coming from my mind. You don't go out and hug all of them that I know you are part of my dream. Because it looks so real, they all look distinct, separate from us, because the ego is surviving in dream. But in this waking state, understand, same mind is giving rise to all the forms from within you. It is all you. You are that energy which is before this mind is projecting everything. And everyone is in that energy. Everyone is the same energy. Don't think a jnani has more of self and others have less of self. Everyone is equal share. Don't think a highly intelligent person has more self and uneducated has less. Everyone, it is equal. Sun is shining equally on everyone. Same is like self. Equal self in all of us. No difference. We only have to become antarmukhi, look within to know this self. But again, this is a choice. Your choice. But you can't choose both. You have to choose one. If someone wants to stay with the I am the body idea and wants to cross this ocean of samsara, Upanishad says it's like crossing the river sitting on a crocodile. So have deep contemplation on the truth. That you are not the body and you are not this external mind which is projecting all these thoughts. And you are not the one who is even interacting with your mind, this I thought. You are just a witness to everything unfolding. Witness means the one who is uninvolved, who is not participating, who is just aware that things are happening. Be that all the time. And see how the silence will just take you. You will be in your bliss all the time. Nobody else can bring us down from this bliss, only us. Once you taste it, you will never give any work to the mind. You will never come close to doership anymore. If in this life something has to be done, it will be done through the body. It will get all that energy and intention, whatever has to happen will happen. Then who are you? You are that Sat Chitananda, that pure bliss, in which all forms are floating and coming and going. But you don't come and go. There is no coming and going. You are as pure as any guru, any saint, any realized being. No difference. We all are that purest of pure. Even if you want that which you are in truth, to be involved in this samsara, you cannot. You cannot make it doer. And the one which is doer is a myth. Understand pure awareness. Brahman never says, I am this body. Knowledge is never an illusion. And body never says, I am this body. Nobody's body is saying, I am you. Then who is this middleman who is suffering, who has ownership of the body? Find out that. And when we seriously try to look into it, we come to the source. Practice, practice, practice. Contemplate on truth all the time. I am the body is only our conditioning by repetition. And our society, our community, everything is reinforcing this conditioning. Be the devotee of pure silence within you. And you will merge in this pure silence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.